Okay, picture a house, 2 bedrooms, 10 kids, a street in Gary, Indiana, where the air tastes like steel and the paycheck never quite stretches to Friday. One of the kids in that house is going to grow up to sell 500 million records and teach the entire planet how to move. But here's the thing nobody tells you. He isn't even the only star in that house. Not even close. This is the life of Michael Jackson. All of it. The genius, the family, the money, the masks, and a final morning that still doesn't sit right. Let's start at the very beginning. And if all you've got is a moonwalk clip and a couple of songs off your mom's playlist, perfect. Stay right there. Because by the end of this, you're going to understand why, 17 years after he died, the world still can't put him down. Gary, Indiana, 1958. Joe Jackson works a crane at the steel mill. Hard hands, harder stare. At night he plugs in a guitar and plays in a band that never quite makes it. His wife, Catherine, sings to the babies over the rattle of the washing machine. And there are a lot of babies. 9 of them survive. Say the names because you know half of them already, Rebbe. Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, LaToya, Marlon, then Michael, then Rankety, and last, the baby of the whole family, a little girl named Janet. Yeah, that Janet. The one who grows up to fill stadiums on her own. Sit with that for a second, because it matters. This is not a family with one genius in it. It's a house stacked floor to ceiling with them. And there's one man who decides he's going to mine it. Their father. And Joe Jackson sees the gift before anyone. And Joe does not go easy. The rehearsals run late. They run mean. And this is Michael's own account. Years later, said his father drilled them with a belt in his hand. The talent and the fear grew out of the same root, in the same tiny room. Hold on to that image. Because every giant stage Michael ever walked onto, some part of him was still in that house in Gary, trying not to flinch. 1968. The brothers have a name now, the Jackson 5, and they're tearing up a stage at the Regal Theater in Chicago. A Motown singer named Bobby Taylor watches a 10-year-old out sing Every Grown Man in the Building, and he picks up the phone. 1969, they sign to Motown. The boss, Berry Gordy, takes the wheel. And then the hits just detonate. You Back, ABC. And here's the number that should stop you at 11 years old. Michael becomes the youngest artist ever to hit #1 on the American charts. 11. A voice the whole country refuses to believe is coming out of a child. But a kid that big has a problem most kids never get. He's already outgrowing the group with his name on it. Fast forward, 1979. Michael walks into a studio with a producer named Quincy Jones and makes a record called Off the Wall. And you can hear it, the exact moment the kid becomes the artist. The voice loosens. The rhythm struts. It's a smash. And most people would have stopped right there, thrilled. Michael told people, flat out, he wanted to make the biggest selling album in the history of the world. People smiled and nodded. He meant it. November 1982. Thriller. Let me just hand you the numbers, because they still don't feel real. 37 weeks at #1. And more than 40 years later, through cassette, CD, streaming, all of it, it is still the best-selling album ever made. Around 70 million copies. Then comes the night. March 1983, a TV special called Motown 25. Michael steps to the front in a single. Glittering glove, the music hits, and he leans back and slides, backwards, across the stage like the floor turned to glass, the moonwalk. 47 million people are watching it live, and in that one moment, he stops being a pop star and becomes something the world had never quite seen, a phenomenon. Guinness would crown him the most successful entertainer who ever lived. 500 million records, 39 world records, 1 human being from a 2-bedroom house. He runs it up. Bad in 1987, 5 #1 singles including a song Where a Grown. Untouchable superstar looks, dead in the camera, and sings about the man in the mirror. He sells out stadiums on every continent on Earth. And here's the cost nobody put on the poster. The most famous man alive can't go to a mall, can't sit in a movie theater, can't eat dinner out like a person. The childhood Joe took from him. He's about to spend the rest of his life, and a fortune, trying to buy it back. Which brings us to the part the world got completely, cruelly wrong. Through the 80s, Michael's skin gets lighter, and the world writes its own story. He's bleaching himself. He's ashamed of being a black man. That's the version everybody repeated at the dinner table. It's also a lie. In 1993 on Oprah, Michael says the word out loud: vitiligo. A real disease that eats the pigment out of your skin in patches, and there's no fixing it. And before you roll your eyes, this isn't a celebrity excuse. When he died, the autopsy confirmed it. He really had it. Meanwhile, he builds himself a world to hide inside Neverland. 2,700 acres, a fun fair, a zoo. The childhood he never got, constructed at full scale, behind a locked gate, and the press takes the saddest thing about him and turns it into a punchline. Wacko Jacko, the most beloved performer on the planet, slowly rebuilt into a freak show. And then 1993 turns the lights all the way dark. Two things happen in these years, and they pull in opposite directions. In May 1994, Michael marries Lisa Marie Presley. Read that again. Elvis's daughter, the king's daughter, marrying the king of pop. It lasts about 2 years. Then in 1996, he marries Debbie Rowe in Australia, of all places, and finally gets the one thing the money never bought him: kids of his own. His son, Prince, in 1997, his daughter, Paris, in 1998. The boy who lost his childhood swore his kids would keep theirs. And we're not going to tiptoe around the hardest part. In 1993, Michael was accused of abusing the young son of a family friend. He settled a civil lawsuit out of court. In early 1994, the boy chose not to testify, and no criminal charges were ever filed. Then in 2005, a different case went all the way to trial, and a jury acquitted him on all 10 counts. That's what's on the record. Not a rumor, not a verdict from me. The actual paper trail. Make of it what you will. We're telling you the whole story, and that's part of it. By 2009, the empire is cracking. The money's gone, spent, mismanaged, lawyered away. The spotlight has wandered off to a new generation of stars. So Michael does the only thing Michael has ever known how to do. He bets everything on a comeback. 50 sold-out shows in London. A residency he names like he's making himself a promise. This is it. The whole world buys a ticket to watch the king walk back out. There's just one thing nobody in that arena can see. He can't sleep. This is the part that's hard to hear. To get him to sleep, his personal doctor gives him one sedative through the night. Then another. Then another. Hours pass and Michael still can't sleep and keeps asking for milk. His private nickname for propofol. A surgical anesthetic that belongs in an operating room, not a bedroom. At 10:40 in the morning, the doctor gives it to him. At 12:21 in the afternoon, someone finally calls 911. At 2:26, Michael Jackson is pronounced dead. He's 50 years old. And here's the part most people still get wrong. He did not take his own life. The coroner ruled it a homicide, propofol intoxication, and in 2011, a jury convicted his doctor of involuntary manslaughter. He served less than 2 years. The treatment meant to help the king of pop sleep is what killed him. 17 years later, the records still stand. The moonwalk is still the first thing every kid tries. There's a new movie bringing him to a generation that never saw him live. So here's the whole arc in one breath. A poor kid from Gary, a child star at 11. The biggest album ever made, a phenomenon. A target, a father. And a final morning nobody saw coming. Do one thing tonight. Pull up the Motown 25 performance and watch the moonwalk. knowing everything you now know. That was the night the world changed forever. And 17 years ago today, the king of pop took his final bow. Say what you will about the man, the world never stopped moving to his music. So on this anniversary, rest easy, Michael. Your fans never stopped missing you. And if you enjoyed this one, follow and subscribe for more stories just like it. A new legend every week. Who should we cover next? Drop it in the comments.